Alright, how about we help Jack get some closure to her past? She seems to think that by setting off this big bomb in this old Cerberus facility, she's gonna not just wipe it off the map, but wipe away all of her problems, troubles, and bad memories out of her head. And I think she's gonna find that she's sadly mistaken on that she has a long road of recovery ahead of her. Although this is a good start. I firmly believe in nipping a problem in the bud, then cleaning up the symptoms later. So she has to begin somewhere. And true enough, Cerberus may not be directly responsible for all the problems that she got herself into or that she found herself in later on in life. They definitely sent her down that path. Anytime you take a child and you isolate that child and you misguide that child and you inflict torture and pain and all those mental anguish and whatever else on that child early, that's the path that child's going to follow, because that's all that child knows. Any ethics or morals that child has, he or she would have to pick up off the floor as they go along, because they certainly aren't having that stuff instilled in them. I would not call Cerberus facility experimenting on a poor young girl at the expense of her safety and health and livelihood a good upbringing. Sorry. So, like I say, you know, if she's going to get some closure, she might as well start here. She's going to have a lot of other things to deal with on down the road, but one thing at a time.
I forgot how much I hate this place. See the landing pad? Has to be on the roof, or the vegetation would overgrow it in a few hours.
Shepard, I am picking up thermal signatures everywhere, except at your landing zone.
Something's distorting the sensors.
This was a secret Cerberus facility.
Yeah, they build their equipment to last. Assholes. It was a mistake coming back here, Shepard.
When we start a mission, we finish it.
Yeah, okay. Let's get on the ground.
Now, from what I see, she has built a really thick shell around herself, a really high, thick wall on a lot of different fronts against basically anything that might be considered a threat. But behind all that rough exterior, behind that heavy armor, is a scared little girl still. Or at least I think she'd like to return to that place, to who she was before all of this. Which I think is natural for anybody, really. I mean, doesn't that make sense? Before you got all the junk and clutter dropped on top of you and to where you're not even recognizable anymore, go back to the beginning, who you were before life happened. In her case, a pretty rough one. We're going to find out a lot of what was going on here. Maybe not as all exactly as Jack thought it was, but enough. More than enough to justify her grudge against this place, for lack of a better word.
Let's just get in there and plant the bomb in myself. I want to watch this place burn.
I was asked a really, really good question by one of you. I think it was Alex. Anyway, it was basically, you know, if you feel a certain way against, you know, about murderers and kidnappers, I have a pretty short list of those who I feel have basically forfeited their right to life by forcing someone else, taking someone else's right to life. Kidnappers, child molesters, rapists, murderers, traitors.
I never saw this room. I think they brought new kids in these containers. They were messed up and starving, but alive. Usually.
Well, a farm for children here. It gets worse. We also get a good idea of who Cerberus has been dealing with behind the scenes as we go along here too. There's a little bit of background lore there on Cerberus. Even more, as if the picture wasn't clear enough already. It just gets worse, if that's possible. And it will continue to do so through all the way into the next game, Mass Effect 3. Yeah, but anyway, I was asked, and you know what? When I read between the lines, when I look at Jack's rap sheet and, you know, read through all that bluff and bluster that she likes to give about how badass she is, you know, that's her defensive posture. It's an obvious one. I don't see her victimizing innocent people. I really don't. I don't see her going out of the way to kill men, women, and children, you know, just because. That's not her MO. She does have something of a conscience, even.
Operation logs again. He's getting suspicious. When we get results, he won't care what we did. But if he knew, he won't find out. The elusive man requested operation logs again.
Sounds like this facility went rogue.
You'd like to think that, wouldn't you? He didn't say what they were hiding from the elusive man.
Okay, now Jack's thing here is that Cerberus is the devil here, 100%. There's no good thing. And it's completely justifiable her seeing it that way. But we're going to find it.
I remember escaping to this room.
not so cut and dry.
I saw sunlight through the cracks in the ceiling. Only a half-dead guard between me and freedom. He was begging for his life.
Right, and so we're supposed to think that she's remorseless, that she's unmerciful, that she's just violent and hateful, murdering bitch, blah, blah, blah. And she'd love to tell you that herself, if it'll keep you at arm's length, keep you away. But you know what, if that guard didn't just straight up rape her at some point, or beat her to death, or inflict some kind of poison, or put her in a pit her and fight against other kids just for his own joy and entertainment, or anything else that might have jeopardized her life, safety, and well-being as a child, he probably had it coming. As would any guard in her eyes here, because they all work for the same monster. In other words, you may not have specifically done the act, but you're definitely on one accord with those that are doing these things because you work with them and you didn't stop it. If you stand there and watch something really, really horrific happen to a child and don't intervene, you might as well have done it yourself. That's just the way it is, you know. And so, yeah, like I say, she's painted as on the surface. And like I say, she will be the first to agree with all that. Anything that can paint her as being the super badass, that boogeyman in the closet that you need to stay away from. She's the terror of your life. She's the fear of your world. You better stay away, blah, blah, blah. That's how she wants to keep everybody. But on the same token, I think she would like to maybe be understood secretly. But if she admit that, then that's weakness. And if it's weakness, then someone's going to take advantage of it because that's all she's ever known. Right? And so I honestly believe everything she's done, and I don't think she's done exactly everything for the same reason that you might think she's done it, right? But for any bad thing that she's gotten involved in, any mess up that she's found herself mixed up in, I think she has a sense of justice. And I think she treats almost everything as self-defense. And I'm not justifying actions, but I don't see a lot of what she's done as murder per se, as opposed to self-defense.
Looks like an arena.
That's right. They used to stage fights here. Pit me against other kids. I loved it. Only time I was ever out of my cell.
What were they studying?
Hell if I know. Maybe that's how they got their kicks. I never understood anything that happened here.
How often did they do this?
I was in a cell my whole life. Sometimes they took me out and made me fight. Filled me with drugs, other stuff. Time gets funny in a cell.
Did other children die in these fights?
I was a kid, filled with drugs. I got shocked when I hesitated. Narcotics flooded my veins when I attacked.
What the hell was wrong with those people?
I don't know. Doesn't matter now.
Let's keep moving.
Wow, whether Jack's aware of it or not, that's an actual psychological method used to brainwash somebody or essentially program somebody is pain and reward. Reward if you do exactly what we want. Shock, treatment, otherwise. To punish you for doing the wrong thing so that you start doing certain things with reflex, instinctively.
Security Officer Zimkel, Telton facility. The subjects are out of their cells. They're tearing the place up. Subject 0 is going to get loose. I need permission to terminate. I repeat, permission to terminate. All subjects besides 0 are expendable. Keep Jack alive. Understood. I'll begin the...
That's not right. I broke out when my guards disappeared. I started that riot.
It looks like there was a lot you didn't know.
The other kids attacked me. The guards attacked me. The automated systems attacked me. That doesn't leave lots of room for interpretation.
No, it doesn't, and it really is that cut and dry. Okay, so if the kid started the riot and she got out as a result and finished it off, who cares? Doesn't matter. That's really a moot point. And it goes back to also if the elusive man...
This place is supposed to be empty. Who the fuck shot that Baron? It's a fresh kill.
Well, we can expect some kind of resistance here at some point, I would think. But, the elusive man, who you say, well, this place is rogue, the elusive man wasn't responsible, he's not so bad. Not that he doesn't have ethics anyway. If he would have known about what was going on here, he would have been worried about covering his ass so that nothing threatens his project here, so he can continue to literally harvest children to produce this biotic super weapon is obviously all he was going to do to benefit humanity. How many human children died for this one project that eventually failed in the long run? Well, I wouldn't call Jack a failure. She's troubled, got a lot of issues to deal with, and if you're patient, she can work through them. She's going to learn what true bravery is in life, dealing with some things that are really uncomfortable to look at. I think the thing that terrifies people most about people is themselves. That's usually what we're quickest to run from. Tell a soldier who's willing to run into battle, right, that he has to face his own problems, and he's liable to hesitate. You know what I'm saying? So, she's got a lot of that ahead of her. So, anyway, the Luciman isn't ethical in the first place. The fact that human children were abused, killed, tortured, experimented on, kidnapped, who knows what physical things they did to them. I'm not excluding everything from rape to genetic mutations. Who knows what? Who knows what? All in the name of science, all in the name of humanity. Sorry, doesn't wash. It's not even just that the price is too high. It's that if you're going to destroy the thing you're calling yourself saving in the process of doing it, then just don't bother. Anyway. But the people that I see that Jack has killed or terrorized or, whatever, the things that she's done appear to be mostly against people who remind her of Cerberus and the things that they do at Cerberus. Cultists, kidnappers, scammers, corrupt political groups, military groups and things that are involved with slave traffickers and things like this. Groups that either aligned with Cerberus.
This was a small facility. A lot of children died here. Even then, they were part of the experiment.
Bullshit. I had the worst of it, and I made it out alive.
Yeah, see, that's another thing. So that's something she has to tell herself, is that she had the worst. That she was the epitome of every bad thing that happened here. And I think they all got the same, but I think a lot of children lost their lives on her behalf. That's not her fault. Once again, that's the Illusiman. Well, this place went rogue. The Illusiman didn't know about it. If he did, and he didn't have to cover his own ass with it, as long as it got results, that's fine with him. That's his MO. So, yeah, I'm not buying that either. Oops. Yeah, anyway, so to get back to the question is, why do I not feel the same about her as I would about murderers, kidnappers, and stuff? Because I don't see her victimizing innocent people. Like I said, I think she walks with a code of self-defense. It's pretty much, everyone's a threat. If she warns you away and you approach anyway, then you're probably going to kill her. She's going to hit you first. Because that's her instinctive, that's she's what she was trained to do. That's all she knows. If she, like I say, whatever ethics and morals she has, which she does have a moral code. She does have a conscience. She'll see her hesitate. She's not out to hurt innocent people. She's not out to victimize more children like herself. Or other innocent people like herself.
I feel like I'm pissed off. I'm a dangerous bitch. But then I'm a little girl again. Shit. It's complicated. Let's just go plant that bomb.
Right? So it's different. The principle's different. Like I say, self-defense is not murder. I couldn't get a shot. I love this gun. Best sniper ever. It's basically the Mass Effect 50 cal. Basically. So anyway, hope that answers that question. And yes, we actually have cells. So this was a prison. Children brought here against their will. Guess we'll find out where all those children came from. Where do you find an endless pool of children to experiment on to create a biotic superweapon? Where do you find that?
They kept
Yeah, Miranda, they kept children here. See, Miranda's going to have her eyes open, too. Sure enough, she's going to side with Cerberus to an extent. She's a smart girl. And I don't think she's so morally corrupt that she can't see, that she's not willing to face and accept reality if she's just confronted with it. And I think she's going to be confronted with that a lot as far as Cerberus goes in the upcoming days. You know what I'm saying? Her and Jack will never be friends. I can't see that. Jack hates Cerberus and everything about it for the right reason.
Two-way mirror? My cell is on the other side. I could see all the other kids out here.
I screamed at them for hours, and they always ignored me.
Well, she was definitely the focus of this entire facility. She is the point of all this. But we're going to see just how far they went. Like I say, if it wasn't bad enough, the kidnapping, the imprisonment, these security consoles say a lot. They created such a rich character in Jack. It's
Through here when I broke out,
just amazing.
but I don't remember it. This is a bad place.
Okay, now we're getting a little too close to home. I would think she spent hours in that chair. Or maybe a lot of other children spent hours in that chair in her place. Doesn't matter. Like you say, well, if Jack was a real evil bitch, she wouldn't care, but she does care. She does care about that. She would just like to believe that she had the worst of it here. I don't think there's a worse or better. I think it's all equally bad. A lot of other children happen to lose their lives. Jack didn't.
What's this?
Entry 1054, Telton Facility. The latest iteration of Pergnum went poorly. Subjects 1, 4, and 6 died. No biotic change among the survivors. We lowered core temperatures of surviving subjects, but no biotically beneficial reactions occurred. As a side effect, all subjects died. So we'll not try that on Zero. I hope our supply of biotic potential subjects holds up. We are going through them fast.
This is bullshit. They weren't experimenting on the other children for my safety.
This whole place was built to turn you into what you are.
You don't get it, Shepard. I survived this place because I was tougher than the rest. That's who I am.
If there are any answers here, they're further on.
Maybe some truth to that. You may be the toughest. You were engineered to be that way at a lot of other children's expense.
It's all fallen to pieces. The subjects are rampaging and Zero is loose. We're shutting Telton down. What a disaster. We'll infiltrate and piggyback onto the Alliance's Ascension program. Hopefully, that will give... Oh, what? Zero, wait!
Shepard, they started up somewhere else.
Ascension is an Alliance program. It's a school for biotic kids. They don't torture children there.
A lot of this isn't the way I remember it.
You couldn't have known.
Maybe. We're getting close to my cell, the place I came from. Let's keep going.
Yeah, that's it. As a traumatized child, the things they put her through. What it looks to me like is they made sure the experiments were safe, that they would get results before applying them to Jack, and then she was the recipient of all their experiments. But how many children did they process through this place?
Hey, Aresh. It's Kieran. Yeah, the intruders are here. You want them dead? We have to talk creds. You promised us lots of salvage, but this place is a waste. Fine, put them down. Then I'm coming in there and we're gonna talk salvage.
You're in my way.
Get them!
Trouble incoming!
Okay, so you remember Shepard's past? When we first started in Mass Effect 1, for those of you that watched that series, our background was a survivor of Mindwar, where we watched our family get killed, and Batarian slavers were gathering up people, right? Collecting people, and those Batarian slavers enslave people because there's money to be made in it, right? There's a market for it. And who is the buyer? Here you're looking at it. Where do you think they find this endless source of children? To kill and experiment and brutalize and torture and who knows what. There you go. And so you can go ahead and tag the elusive man's name on all that too, because he's not unknowing as to where they get all these children, okay? So you have a child kidnapper, torturer, who knows what. And like I say, who knows what is all the mental anguish and torture they have to inflict on these children and their sick experiments for the good of quote-unquote humanity. I see people say that, well, Tim, actually the Elusive Man was pretty cool in Mass Effect 2. That is such, if you know what's really going on, that is such a sick thing to say that it makes me question people in real life, actually. It's above and beyond. Now, out of ignorance, it looks like he's willing to make the hard choices. But when you realize what some of those hard choices are and how unnecessary they are, and how they benefit nothing or nobody, their egomaniacal, weird, freaky, power trip bullshit, yeah, then it's impossible to see it in any other light because, well, it is what it is, you know? He is just that bad. Alright. One charging Krogan, and I think we're done here. Find out who hired these blood pack mercenaries here.
Only room left is my old cell. Whoever Aresh is, he's in there. I want to plant the bomb there anyway. Might as well do it on his corpse.
Yeah, whoever hired these mercs is here somewhere. And that person told those mercs to kill us. So that person signed their death warrant, basically. Whoever that is. Jack doesn't kill him, I will. Make sure we're not leaving any credits, salvage, upgrades, stuff. Doing the best I can to find everything. And get to see where it all began with her.
Come out. We know you're here.
Who are you?
My name is Aresh, and you're breaking into my home. I know you, Subject Zero. So many years have passed, and I thought I was the only survivor.
My name is Jack. How the hell do you know me?
We all knew your face, Jack. They inflicted horrors on us so their experiments wouldn't kill you. You were the question, and I'm still looking for the answer.
Why did you come back?
I hired these mercs and came back almost a solar year ago. We're rebuilding it piece by piece. I'm gonna find out what they knew, how to unlock true biotic potential in humans. I'm restarting the Telton facility.
Well,
It will be beautiful.
This is a whack job.
I wanted a hole in the ground. He's trying to justify what happened by using it?
This place was like a prison. How'd you get out?
We all attacked at once as they were taking us to the lab. They would have put us down. But then Jack got loose. When I came to, it was over. The guards, the scientists, and the kids were all dead. And you were gone.
I stopped it. All of it. Maybe the others did have it bad, but what you're doing is just messed.
Everything we went through must have been worth something!
You do the same thing to new kids? Wasn't this forced on you?
Some were bought from poor families on Earth or kidnapped from colonies. Most ended up here the way I did. Batarian pirates. They did such horrible things to us. They must have had good reasons.
There's no reason good enough. Are you nuts? You lived it.
We can blow up the place, but that still leaves him. What do we do with another you?
That's easy.
Just leave me here. This is where I belong.
Fuck that.
You're here to erase your past. He's part of that.
Shit. Is this right? Will killing him fix my head?
You're a killer, Jack. That's what you do.
Yeah. That felt good.
A bullet in the head solves everything.
I know that now. This room was my whole childhood. Give me a minute to look around.
Go ahead.
Nothing's changed.
Okay.
It's all different.
If you think Damn, Ninja, you're a sicko. No, actually, he is a personification of the very mentality.
Sometimes I dream that I'm back in this bed being tortured. I used to tie the sheets around my wrists and try to rip them off. I want to stop coming back here.
Of the very thing that she's fighting against.
I thought that room out there was the rest of the world. I'd pound and yell. Never did me good.
She needs to put a bullet in the head of the kind of thinking that thinks it's okay to do this to children.
I used this table for everything. It was like my best friend. I'd crawl under it to cry. I was pathetic.
It's not necessarily all that weak, Jack. She's never allowed to be a child, though, so I get it. And she escaped and did what all the rest of the children put together couldn't do. Finished smashing this. She really was tougher than the rest. They paid a lot of blood for that to happen, but there you go.
See the scarring on the wall here? That's where I killed my first man. One of the guards tried to stop me. Instead, I stopped him. Okay, no more wallowing. Let's blow this place to hell.
From a role-playing aspect, I actually brought Miranda along so she could get a look at that. Not that it would make a difference necessarily in her dialogue or with her character, but she needed to see that. Anyway, the mention of the Batarian pirates, and that's where Cerberus was getting that constant source of child meat to process through their little experiment factory. Call it what it is. It is what it is. Warp ammo might come in handy. Seriously.
I needed to wipe that place off the map. You took me there to do it, and I owe you. You don't know what it's like, Shepard, to have garbage like that following you. It marks you in ways you don't expect.
You're not the only one with a past, Jack. Everyone has to deal.
Know what? I like that. I piss and moan, and you say, grow the fuck up. That victim garbage, it's half me. I think I get that.
There was only one other survivor from that place, and you killed...
It's the same thing as blowing the place up. Now I'm the only one who remembers what happened there. I want it gone. I want it all gone. It's only in my head, and when I die, it dies.
I don't want this affecting our mission.
Can't kill all that bad shit so easy, I guess. Have to live with it. Fucked up or not, the rest of the galaxy can deal.
I don't care how you do it. This doesn't sidetrack us again. Understood?
Yes, ma'am, Commander ma'am. Whatever. Look, seriously, though, you did something for me and... shit. I'm not used to saying thanks.
Right on. Yeah, that self-pitying and that making herself a victim, that was a big part of it. Tough love for the moment. Tough love. Like I say, that is a first step of several things, but she did get to strike a blow to the very principle which started that in the first place. Even though this guy was a whack job, he's not going to restore a facility by himself, right? But he's going to sit there with his hired mercs and kill anything in sight and whatever, festering disease. But him saying that he'd be willing to do that to children again, and he already ordered us dead anyway. Although there was something to be said about us breaking into quote-unquote his home. There was something to that. I guess that was his home, sort of. Not by choice early on, but there you have it. But the symptoms of that program now apparently been dealt with. Now she's got a lot of other stumbling blocks ahead of her. All right. Well, we're here on the Citadel. I was thinking we could also help Garrus deal with a past issue that's really, really bothering him. Look at some of these new outfits we have here. I like Jack's default. Kasumi, same. Jacob's alternate is alright. I think I already gave Zaid his. Anyway, we'll go help Garrus get some closure with this, what is it, Sidonus, I think? Go tromping around the Citadel a little bit. I think I'm going to go double check the stores and make sure I haven't missed anything. I don't know if and when they restock. I'm thinking once you buy them out, they're bought out. Although, on Omega, there might be some more stuff to get on Omega later on. Don't remember. That's cool. I'll check. I'll check off cam. If there's anything interesting that happens, I'll be sure to include it. But other than that, we'll go run around a bit, and then we'll meet back here, and we'll go help Garrus deal with his issues.
I've found references to a forger named Fade in C-Sec crime reports, Shepard. Perhaps that is a good place to start looking.
That sounds like a place to start looking. And that's what we'll do. Alright, thanks for watching. If you haven't subscribed and you want to, you can click that button up top. The top box there will take you to the Mass Effect 1 playlist. And if you want to catch up on the rest of this Let's Play, up to this point, you can click the bottom box. It should take you to that playlist. Alright, thanks for watching. I will catch you guys in the next one. Y'all take care. Bye-bye.